Interest rates and inventory dominated the real estate market in 2023. And here with a look ahead is Anthony Lamacchia of Lamacchia Realty. We've got some big things to get into. First of all, I want to talk about 2023 because it's still having an impact on the market. You know, a lot of homeowners are staying put because they wanted to hold on to those historically low mortgage rates. And then a lot of would-be home buyers are really frustrated. So what was your takeaway overall for 2023?
Well, to give you some statistics, 2023 home sales in Massachusetts were down 22%, prices up 3%, and that's confusing to people. They say, wait a second, the last time we had a housing slowdown, prices went down. Well, prices can't go down because there's not very much for sale. And now, remember, sales down 22%. The year before, 2022 to 23, sales were down about 18%. So when you add the numbers up, we're talking 40% down from the peak in 21, and it is a slower market for sure. I think this year will be a bit better. Yeah,
let's talk about it because the presidential race could impact this. Interest rates could impact this. And then I was thinking, you know, more locally, South Coast Rail is set to make an often overlooked area of the state suddenly commutable in a way it hadn't been before. I think I joke all the time that people in Massachusetts tend to think anything south of Dedham is Rhode Island. But so a lot of people aren't looking there, and so you don't have quite the high real estate prices that you do in that area. And now maybe if you could hop on a train, that could be good. So what do you think for 2024?
Well, there's a reason we opened up in Seekonk and Fall River in the last 6 months because I see that as an area of Massachusetts similar to what I saw with Worcester 10 years ago, where people are going to be going there. The South Coast Rail is definitely going to help. It was a great move by the state. Too bad it took 30 years.
I know.
But it's good to see, and that does create more affordability for home buyers.
And overall, what do you think the market's going to do?
We are noticing, and I am hearing from our top realtors, that they definitely have more sellers that want to sell this spring than they did a year ago.
Yeah, because they've been waiting and they've been wanting to move.
They can only wait so long.
I know.
People can only hold off on listing their homes so long, but I'll tell you, there's still a lot that are holding off. I mean, rates did come down around the holidays, which was terrific to see, but now they're back up to 6.9, 7% on average. And if you're someone that's sitting in a home with a 2.8 or a 3% rate, that's tough to trade.
It is tough to trade, but you have to think to yourself, like, let's make the move, and then, you know, if rates come down, we'll refinance, right?
That's what we try to tell everyone, but when you're the person sitting in the home, that can be frustrating. There's also buy-down programs and many options.
All right. Let's talk about the fact that, you know, just last year, Gene was actually talking with me about this. There was an article in the Los Angeles Times, I'm looking at my notes because I want to get this right, that reported on a flood of homes suddenly on the market in Los Angeles at cut-rate prices because of something called a mansion tax. And there's concern that that could happen here because, because real estate prices are so high, you know, what the rest of the country calls a mansion and what the rest of the country calls $1 million home, here there are some, which is still a lot of money, obviously, but here there are some communities, you know, in which you're not getting all that much.
$1 million home is not that much anymore.
No.
So let me break that down. What you read there in that article is before they implemented a tax on homes that sold over $5 million, a rush of them went on the market, they sold. As soon as that terrible regulation in Los Angeles went in place, everybody stopped listing their homes for sale. So the reason we're talking about that, obviously, is Governor Healy's new housing bill. Part of it I like. Pushing cities and towns to provide more leeway with in-law apartments, accessory dwelling units. That's all great. But then she's also saying, well, we're going to also allow cities and towns to put a transfer tax on top of the existing state transfer tax that can be anywhere from 0.5 to 2% on sales over $1 million. Well, that's a perfect example of those who say we don't have enough affordable housing doing things that decrease affordable housing. As soon as they put something like that in place, who's going to want to sell? They're not going to want to pay that, and you know as well as I do, at least I'm claiming you do, cities and towns will abuse that. They'll go to 2%, so if you own $1 million home or a $2 million home, that extra million over the million, now you got to pay $20,000 to your city or town on top of the $4.56 per thousand stamp fee transfer tax to the state. So once again, they're just making the transfer of home ownership as a whole more expensive. So part of the governor's bill I love, and Governor Healy, if you see this, which I bet you will, I love that part. The part about allowing transfer taxes to go up, I'm dead set against, and it will backfire.
All right, where can people find you if they want to be in touch?
LamacchiaRealty.com.
You're pretty much everywhere, yes?
I get around.
Yeah, all right. Thanks for joining us this morning. Catherine, over to you.